Welcome back, Amibros, to Bioshock. In the last episode, an audio diary by Pablo Navarra revealed an electrical engineer named Kyburz might have something that could overload the switch that's preventing us from getting to Andrew Ryan. In this episode, we'll be heading to Kyburz's office and see just what that might be. Before we head downstairs, where Kyburz's office is, I want to head over to the right as there are some goodies here that I would be remiss to ignore. But before we can get access to those goodies, we got some splicers to deal with. Mainly this leadhead splicer and his dipshit security turret, and unfortunately he's not going to want me to hack it. Well, too bad, I already did. Now you will be knocked out for your troubles. For God's sake, stop spilling your ketchup packets. It's disgusting. On that wall right where the security turret was, you can see the date for Australia Day more clearly. If you couldn't before, you don't have to squint your eyes at the screen just to see, what date is circled on the calendar where we found Pablo Navarra's audio diary. So, there you go. If you're wondering why I showed off that hacking minigame there for the last time, it was because there was a new pipe segment there, the slim pipe segment. Unlike the curvy pipe segment, the slim one will speed up the flow. So, it's fine if that's the only segment you have, but you're better off ignoring it for something else, because again, you do not want to make yourself feel rushed while you're hacking. Anything that can help slow the flow down, like your engineering tonics, research bonuses, is good, obviously. But anything that'll speed it up, especially for a maxed difficulty hack, is no bueno des. So, something to keep in mind if you're hacking. I mean, that's assuming you're even playing the hacking minigame to begin with, because from Hephaestus onwards, I mainly rely on automatic hacking tools as well as the buyout option whenever I'm hacking saves or keypads, if I have the option. This is because, starting with Hephaestus, the game just showers you in money. So that running out of it should never be an issue for you. You can do like a massive shopping spree at a Circus of Values machine, and a few minutes later, you'll make all that back and then some. So, for those of you that hate the hacking minigame, by this point, that should be a complete non-issue for you. But right here, what I'm trying to do is, with this Big Daddy, is pull off a trick involving Cyclone Trap. Basically, how it works is you either surround yourself or the bouncer Big Daddy, and yes, it has to be a bouncer Big Daddy, with cyclone traps. You surround either you or him, and the bouncer Big Daddy won't be able to get near you or hit you, because while he doesn't take damage from the traps itself, the tornadoes prevent him from moving towards you or getting in close enough to hit you. Because remember, the bouncer Big Daddy is more melee focused as opposed to the Rosie, who is more specialized in dealing with you from a distance. And that's why it has to be a bouncer Big Daddy, because if you try and deal with a Rosie Big Daddy, they'll still be able to hit you because of their rivet gun as well as their proximity mines, which is no good. But as we'll see in a few seconds, I screwed up because I didn't surround that bouncer Big Daddy. That place was very awkward because outside of Kyburz's office, there are two security turrets, and for some godly reason I didn't hack them immediately. I guess it was because the bouncer Big Daddy was right there, that if I were to move closer to him, it might aggravate him and get him on my ass, and I didn't need that. So I guess that's why, but still. Anyway, right near that security turret was an easy-to-miss crawlspace door, and what do we find? An audio diary and some electric gel.
I tracked the problem that was blocking the tubes here, and you'll never believe where I ended up. The damn farmer's market, clear on the other end of Rapture. I fixed it right up and installed some new gasket. What a mess. Anyway, the code is 0512 if you ever need to get back in there to do maintenance.
Ooh, that audio diary was so good, I want to listen to another one. Ooh, it's by Kyburz himself.
The young woman off right now. I'm certain she's one of Ryan's spies sent to fill me out. I think she is, if I'm wrong. an innocent girl will end up on Ryan's bloody trophy wall. If I'm right, Will, I'd best be right. The device is almost finished. I can't get soft now.
In case you were wondering, that woman that was dragged off was Anya Andersdottir. The same woman who, like Kyburz, had a vendetta against Andrew Ryan and wanted him dead. Yet another victim of Rapture, all because of a misunderstanding between two people who had the same goal. Well, anyway, by inputting the code 0126, we now have access to Kyburz's office, which is dressed to the nine in trap bolts. I mean, seriously, how are you supposed to navigate your office, Kyburz? I mean, Christ, you walk on any of these, you'll get electrocuted and kill yourself. And surprisingly, Kyburz's body is not here, because of course he's dead, but it's not located in his office from all those trap bolts. I mean, who put these here? Where did you get them? Ugh. Well, anyway, thanks to this kind young lady over here, we were able to clear out all the trap bolts, or most of them anyway. Quite a shame, even in death she can't find any peace. I mean, if she wasn't dead before, she is now. Let's be real. But over to the right, or my left anyway, I guess. Oh, whatever. Over on that side of the wall, there's a Power to the People station, which I'm surprised didn't land Kyburz immediately on Andrew Ryan's wall. You know? You think with Ryan trying to scrub any ounce of Fontaine from Rapture that any machines he made or anything licensed to him would be being used by the citizens of Rapture would, like, land them in prison or at worst, death. You know, but I guess not. Anyway, by grabbing that nitroglycerin, we cause this security turret to pop out, so you want to hug that wall. And for some odd reason, we're not blowing up by shaking the nitroglycerin like this. I mean, for all we know, Jack just sort of took it haphazardly. I guess the scientists of Rapture found a way to make nitroglycerin not explode if you shake it that much. But through the smoke, we see the corpse of Kyburz. Quite a weird way it's positioned. I mean, that can't be comfortable. But regardless, let's hear what the man has to say.
What a balmy dream. Some kind of fruit tree spinning like a top. And it was pouring juice down Ryan's throat, choking the bastard. But it wasn't a tree, really. When I looked closer, it was the core control. The gizmo that feeds the mag locks on Ryan's gate. You can't cut off the power. Comes right from the volcanic vents. Ryan always gets his juice. But I suppose you could drown the son of a bitch in it.
Sure, Kyburz. How'd that work out for you? But by heading deeper into his workstation, you see exactly what he was working on. Whiskey. But before we can interact with that EMP bomb, let's pick up a few things over here, starting with the damage research. Pretty much, we get more bang for our buck in regards to the bonuses we've acquired through our research, which is always nice. So let's replace Frozen Field and learn how to assemble the bomb.
Casing is ready. I've got one charge of nitroglycerin in my office. That will serve as the catalyst. Now I need a 4R34 lead shield wire stubs to pass the circuit. Then a half can of ionic gel. That's the pretty Betty of the mix. Should send the core into compensation mode, push power down the line and trigger the circuit breaker on Ryan's gate. Well, that's the theory. It'll either work like a charm, or blow up half of Rapture. Nothing ventured.
That's the spirit, Kyburz. Live life on the edge. Never give in to your fears. But as you heard, we now have another fetch quest to do before we can encounter Andrew Ryan. Luckily, we already completed Scary Step 1 by collecting the nitroglycerin, so we only have to do 2 more Scary Steps, though Step 3 is nowhere near as scary as Scary Step 2. So that's a positive. But before I go into why Step 2 is so damn scary, let's deal with this splicer over here. He's pretending to be Scorpion, and that's not gonna fly with me. You're no Hanzo Hasashi. He could take the flames, you can't, because you're a bitch. But, back to why Step 2 is so damn scary. So, as Kyburz noted, we need to pick up 4 R34 wire clusters, which you can only get from Big Daddy corpses. You can already tell why this is so scary. Luckily, we've already encountered two Big Daddy corpses, one by Kyburz' office and the other at the beginning of Hephaestus, so we might have to backtrack a little bit. This also includes the Big Daddies you've killed trying to either rescue or harvest the little sisters, and if you've killed all three Big Daddies of this level before you encounter the EMP bomb, then you don't have to worry about wasting any bullets or what have you on Big Daddies that are just roaming the level. But just remember where you kill them exactly if you want to limit your backtracking, because you're not allowed to collect the R34 wire clusters until you encounter the EMP bomb, which is kind of dickish. You know, you already killed the Big Daddies by that point, and you think that, oh well, they only give me money anyway, so I'm practically done. But no, they also have another thing: you're just not allowed to collect it until a certain point. And I don't know, I don't like that. I feel if you're already killing the Big Daddies, they should have everything you need right then and there, just so you can speed up your time. You don't have to pad out the level by backtracking all that much. You know, just saying. You know, save resources is what I'm saying. You know, and I'm about to say fuck that, as I decided not to backtrack totally all the way. You know, this Big Daddy was in my way, or he was right there, so I figured might as well kill him. You know, I have the means to bring him down easily, so it's not that bad, but you know, having 6 frag grenades is better than 4 in this case. But as far as the ionic gel is concerned, we've seen it all over this level. So, and you only need 2, which I just found by exploring the Hephaestus core, which wasn't far off from where Kyburz' office was. Luckily, by backtracking, we're able to explore the lower level of Hephaestus' core, so it's not too bad. You know, I mean, when it comes to backtracking, I don't mind it, so long as I'm able to discover new parts of the level that I couldn't before. You know, it's like in Metroid, I'd say. You know, because you now have new powers, you get to explore different parts of the level, and as long as those different parts of the level have something interesting for me to collect, or you know, something that can either make me stronger or give me new insight into the world I'm exploring, then I don't really mind backtracking all that much. You know, I get it if it can be very easy to screw up, because, you know, going through the same level over and over and over again repeatedly can be a bit of a drag, and it can slow the pace of the game down, or hell, even pad out the game time. Well, those two are sort of the same, I would assume, but still. This part of Hephaestus just bothers me. You know, luckily, the Big Daddies I've killed thus far aren't too far separated from one another, but the thing is that I could have sworn in the previous episode I killed a Big Daddy around Hephaestus' core, but I guess the game is very picky on Big Daddies despawning and respawning, I guess. I mean, that Big Daddy, the first one I killed, was all the way back there. So, and it was still around. But I guess because a Big Daddy wasn't roaming around Hephaestus' core, that it didn't despawn? I don't know. The game can be rather picky with corpses spawning and despawning. I guess because, you know, since this is the 360 version that was released in 2007, it's pushing the 360 to its limits. No, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a gaming technician. But by putting all the parts into the EMP bomb casing, we now have a complete EMP bomb. Where are we putting that?
Does it look like it's a real bomb? It better. You got to put it on the core, past geothermal control. And we'll see if these needle noses knew what the hell they were talking about.
I hope so too, Atlas. Otherwise, sleeping with the fishes will be the least of our worries. Anyway, that'll be all for today, folks. Next time on Bioshock, we'll be utilizing our newly crafted EMP bomb and finally encountering Andrew Ryan. See you guys then.
Is there blood in the streets? Of course. Have some chosen to destroy themselves with careless splicing? Undeniable. But I will make no proclamations. I will dictate no laws. The great chain moves slowly, but with wisdom. It is our impatience that invites in the parasite of big government. And once you've invited it in, it will never stop feeding on the body of the city. To build a city at the bottom of the sea, insanity. But where else could we be free from the clutching hand of the parasites? Where else could we build an economy that they would not try to control, a society that they would not try to destroy? It was not impossible to build rapture at the bottom of the sea. It was impossible to build it anywhere else.